Now, I know we're focused on the tour, but you have been working on new music.
Yeah.
Okay. What can we share? Let's talk about the new music. You're excited about it.
I'm so excited. You saw it just lit up.
Hello, my fellow music lovers, and welcome to the Allison Hagendorf Show. Hello, my fellow music lovers, and welcome to the Allison Hagendorf Show. This is where we celebrate the universal love of music, the stories behind the songs, and the humans behind the artists. I'm so glad you're here. We are coming to you from DWP Studios in Los Angeles, and I want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Cloudwater, which I love, and they help make this show possible along with you. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for watching, listening, and subscribing. Today's guest is rapper, record producer, and actor G-Eazy. He just released his 7th studio album, Freakshow, and is about to embark on a 41-date world tour. We talk all about the new era of G-Eazy. He has new music coming out, the personal growth, losing his mother, mental health, and how he has managed to become his best self in the process. We'll be right back with G-Eazy right here in the studio. My guest today is a multi-platinum selling rapper, record producer, and actor. His songs have over 17 billion streams worldwide with 16 platinum singles, a few that are on their way to diamond status. He released his 7th studio album, Freakshow, earlier this year and is about to embark on his 41-date world tour. Gerald, aka G-Eazy, welcome to the show.
Man, that was an awesome introduction.
Thank you. Well, it's all your...
I hadn't realized some of those numbers. That's cool.
Isn't that pretty wild?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Especially the diamond status, because that's next level.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear these numbers, like, what does that do for you?
Well, I mean, you know, it's just metrics, right? It's just numbers, but at the same time, you know, that's like a real thing, man.
Yeah.
And I just try to stay with gratitude.
Right.
It's a very important thing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just moving with grace and gratitude through life, because at the end of the day, these are dreams that I've had since I was 13, 14. Mm-hmm. And you know, I fell in love with music hard, and I never fell out of love. And you know, music, unlike sports, you know, we don't always have metrics to measure our value. You know, we have people who care about what we make.
Yes.
And, you know, that became in commercial music, you know, if you sold this, or, you know, your song has been streamed and played this many times. And, you know, in sports, if you run faster than the other guy, you win.
Right,
you know
yes.
what I mean? You run a 100-meter dash and, you know, in like 10 seconds or whatever, and he ran 10.5, you know what I mean? But music, it's like, it's not always that way, so I guess... It's a long-ass way of saying.
No, I think the metrics are cool. Yeah, I think the metrics are cool, but really the magic of music is measured in how it makes you feel as an artist writing it and making it, and how it makes other people feel listening to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you see that specifically at your live show, and so exciting. You're about to embark on this world tour. And you've been working tour, you've been practicing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just going to say that when you're out on stage and you're in this room where, you know, we all come from different walks of life. You know, all these people in the crowd, they're looking at you, you're looking at them. They're smushed together. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of sweat, there's, you know, beer spilling. Yeah. There's, you know, smoke in the air. And what do we all have in common? You know, this one commonality, this one thread that we share an appreciation for this music. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, the music really comes to life when you're performing it for these people who care.
And as a music fan, when I go to so many shows, I often watch the crowd. Like I actually, like, of course I watch the artist, but like I spend a lot of time looking out and looking at the people, because I'm like, I feel so connected. Yeah. Like, these are my people.
Yeah,
you know?
this is our tribe.
Yeah,
you know? And our commonality that we share, again, is, you know, a shared appreciation for the music. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. It's a wave. It's a frequency. It's like a togetherness, you know, when you see people in unison, you know, I'm talking about like lots and lots and lots of people in unison, whether it's a protest or whether it's a concert or whether it's they're together and their voices amplify each other, their energies amplify each other. So yeah.
It's as human as it gets. You know, it's actually very primal.
Yeah.
It just kind of takes everything else away and just brings us down to humans enjoying a moment, enjoying art, enjoying a time in history together. It just, that's how it feels for me.
And as a show, it happens, and then once it's over, it's over.
Yeah. But you'll remember, but the memories will be there. It's part of you. Yeah. Now you did post that, although it was supposed to start in Oakland, it was a little bit of like a hiccup, and it's going to be starting in LA. So what was the deal with that?
I'm very, very, very particular about the production, especially this time around. I mean, I haven't toured in like 5 years,
right?
Like a full-blown U.S. tour, and that's crazy because we used to tour to the next tour, to the next tour. We were always on tour, and I think I took more control this time. I got back in the driver's seat. I had become almost passive by the end, and you delegate. And also, when you have a great team, you can't just take control as a leader and not listen to anybody. What's the point of having a team then?
Yeah.
But I kind of lost myself in the process, I think, and letting every other voice be too loud, and, being like, okay, fine, you guys just do it then.
Yeah.
And and that's just to say that, like, I mean, it's important to speak up and be passionate and take control in the right ways, and be assertive, and I rediscovered that drive, that power, and I really asserted it on this one. And there's just one particular part of the show that really matters to me, and it's a mechanical thing.
Okay.
And it just wasn't ready yet. And we'd been rehearsing everything in LA, so it's easier to source things and get it fixed here in LA.
Good for you. I think that's so important. I also feel like that's indicative of where you are in your life right now.
Yeah.
Like you clearly care so much about this new album, this new era that you're in, and the show needs to reflect that.
Yeah.
So I have such respect for that. And I thought when I saw that post, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. It needs to be right.
Yeah. You got to be assertive in what you want in life. And, you can't just be passive, sit back and just assume, things will fall in your lap or that it'll all work out the way you want it to.
Right.
And at least if you want to take control of your own life.
Of course. And the timing of it kind of leading up to Halloween, I feel like is perfect. Freakshow, you love Halloween, right? Yeah. So will you be dressing up? Like what can fans expect?
I'm gonna be Jerry Potter. Jerry Potter, the boy who slived.
That's phenomenal. Amazing. You heard it here first now. Yes.
Sliving.
So do you get nervous before when you get on stage? So good.
No, I get nervous before every show.
Yeah.
People get surprised when I say that, but
it just means you care.
It just means you care. It's like, why? What don't y'all see? It means that you're alive and that you care and that you're vulnerable and that we all have insecurities. We all have fears. We all have, these self-doubts at times. No one is invincible. It's about using that doubt, and weaponizing it into motivation to go out and work harder, so that you don't let it consume you. So it's just like, like I was saying a moment ago, if I was just always, passive and just confident that autopilot that everything would go fine, well, then
you're not living in the moment.
No.
That's right. And when you are about to take the stage, do you have like a pre-show mantra, or do you what's like your headspace like?
Just go out there and kill.
Yes.
Oh no, I find this like, I'll do like push-ups and jumping jacks and just get my, my blood flowing, my heart racing.
Of course.
And then just the like Hulk, go out and just, I don't know.
And I love when we were talking about this, that you did make the move to New York, and it's really marking like a new chapter in your life. And I'm a New Yorker, so I loved hearing you were moved there and that you love it. What do you love about it so much?
I'd wanted to be there my whole life. I've always just had this like romance with New York. And I also it was a time in my life I just felt like I needed a change. I needed to do something for me, to live a little bit, to reset, to recalibrate. I was on the flight over there when I finally pulled the trigger, and I'm on the plane, and I'm like, wait, who do I even really know? What is life gonna be? Because I moved alone. It wasn't like I moved with a girlfriend or, with, some family, or like knowing that family was there or something. It was just me on my own, really. I had a couple friends, but all of a sudden I'm there, and you got to figure it out. And the thing is, New York, you can do that. It's like you can be alone, independent. you know, you just walk everywhere. New Yorkers don't bother me. Like, I get on the street, it's like, what's up, G? And that's it, as if they know me. It's like, I kind of wanted to go experience the cold, you know, the like,
Seasons.
the edge of like not being comfortable and complacent, you know what I mean? Having to figure things out and go get inspired and write a record while you're there and get to know the city.
For sure. I feel so grateful that I got to become me, you know, in New York as a young person, the grind, the hustle.
Yeah, we're in black.
Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah.
And this was before Uber and stuff, so you know, it's only subways and on foot.
Yeah, I mean, I walk,
I love
ride city bikes at the jumping yellow.
I love mass transportation there is the best.
The best, yeah.
That's so great. I did the swap and I came to LA later on and stopped hating on LA, and now I do love it. But I also came here not know anyone. And I feel that we have callings, like it was calling you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I think that's so awesome.
Yeah. No, it was like, Gerald, come out and play.
And I know, of course, the pride you have for Oakland and that. And now that you love New York, I bet you it gives you a whole new perspective and appreciation for artists that you grew up listening to, like Nas and Jay-Z. I bet you it almost feels more connected.
Yeah, come on. I was, man, the other night, I mean, and it's all genres, right? But like, I mean, New York hip hop has always had such a like, I mean, I have Midnight Marauders tattooed on me. Huge Tribe Called Quest fan, Nas, Jay-Z, like you said, you know, but Mobb Deep, you know, a ton of East Coast stuff, Jadakiss, you know, Dipset, all that. But also, like, I mean, like, huge fan of the Strokes, and I got to go to see Julian's other band, The Voids, the other night, and it was, you know, it was good to see him backstage and stuff, and I was, you know, it's just like, I mean, New York has so much history and so much culture, and so much, and beyond music, I mean, you know, there's so much to do there. I love going to comedy shows, jazz shows, you know,
it's
museums,
electric.
Galleries,
It's electric.
seeing art.
It's like the amount of things you can do in one day and night is insane, right?
Yeah, insane.
It's an adventure every single day. Yeah. So in addition to that, as far as talking about music and like stuff that you grew up with, your parents and your grandparents also played a role in introducing music to you, all different types of stuff. What kind of stuff did they play for you?
My mom was a huge Beatles fan. So, and my parents had separated, so we'd, every other weekend and summers, you know, I spent a lot of time in the car driving to and from the Bay Area to Fresno. And it was mostly my mom driving. And she would play me her music, you know, a lot of Dylan, love Nirvana, and, you know, Talking Heads, Nina Simone. Awesome. I mean, it was just a wide range.
Just great.
Yeah, Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell.
So good.
And, you know, and then I was playing her Tupac, and she learned to just she loved Tupac. Yeah.
There's
so we
such a special bond to share music with each other, yeah.
But sharing music is a love language, you know, and that's probably one of the places I learned it, because it's like, if you have a certain relationship with an artist or a song in particular or an album, you know, and you're eager to share that with a person you love and care about, you know, and nothing is more formative than, like, you know, a mom playing her firstborn son.
Beautiful.
Sgt. Pepper's. You know what I mean?
It's such an intimate connection. You know, they say when people like share earbuds, you know, it's like the most intimate connection. Or making like a mixtape for someone or a playlist for someone, like there's nothing more special and intimate. Because the way that music makes you feel, you want
to share what it means to me with what it means to you.
It's the best.
No, I love that. I love that with film, but music is the most, you know, because it's more digestible. It's like a 3.5 minute experience.
Yeah.
You know, a record is longer, 45, maybe an hour, but like, you know, to sit down and watch a movie with a person, that's an hour and a half, 2 hour commitment. Whereas you could share this, like, to compact so much, you know, emotion, feeling, identity, and story within 3.5 minutes, you know. And that's why I love the medium of music in general. It's like, wait, I only have 3.5 minutes, and then probably 30 seconds of it is going to be covered by just music, intro and outro.
Yeah.
And then you have a chorus that's going to repeat 2 or 3 times, so that wipes out. So you only have like 1.5 minutes of elapsed time, and it all has to rhyme. But you have to tell me a story about everything you are within that 1 minute and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's limiting, but it's like, it's challenging, and if you can compact a whole lot minimally within that, then that's greatness.
It's the ultimate expression. At what point did you realize that you wanted to make music your life?
Well, my aunt and uncle, growing up in my grandparents' house, it was my aunt and uncle in one room, me, my mom, and little brother in the other, and my grandma and grandma. And then my aunt and uncle were like 90s rock and rollers, ripped jeans,
cool.
flannel shirts. You know, drove a '65 Mustang that was all beat up. It was just cooler than cool. Like I'm like, I want to grow up and be like that.
Oh,
like that's
cool.
You know, they were my idols, and they would rehearse in the basement at the house with their band. And I would sit on the steps of the basement and watch like I was front row.
Oh. And
they'd be drinking beer and just all cool and stuff. And just I was like, man, this is the life for me.
That's amazing. It's like what a special treat, because I didn't have that at all. Like the fact that you really were growing up with all this music influences and stuff is such a special thing. And you can really hear, you know, all of the influences, genre-wise, you know, where you're from, now living in New York, and your time in Paris and London. And you can hear all of these influences in this album. You really, really can. And, you know, of course, songs like Backseat, of course, it's like a love letter to New York.
A love letter to New York. Oh, man, I'm so happy you said that. That means the world to me.
It's a total love letter to New York. That one, of course, resonates.
Yeah.
Being in a backseat with someone.
Yeah, in a taxi, having that conversation, but making out, but also being, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's cold outside, you know what I mean? And the taxi stinks, you know, but you can be like, yeah.
It's my entire 20s. Yeah. I love that.
Take me to Princess and Mulberry.
Yes, it's so good. And then like a nod to London, of course, I love The Clash, London Calling, Interpolation, you know, For Anxiety. How did that come about?
Well, I mean, the album really was done in Paris, London, and New York, and I wanted it to reflect that. I wanted it to feel as global as, but it's also like you have such a, there's like an invaluable like bank of like experience to draw from when you get the privilege and chance to travel like that. You know what I mean? There's just like, it's all there in front of you to draw inspiration from, and it's on you to just make sure that you capture it like lightning in a bottle. You know, from architecture to, you know, to style, to the different sounds and styles of music you're exposed to in different countries, you know, and trying to incorporate those influences. And,
You can feel it. It makes it so much more personal, you know. Anxiety is one of my favorite songs, and it's such a cool song because it's very up-tempo and upbeat, but the juxtaposition of it being very personal and talking about highs and lows of mental health, and it's very confessional. You know, and it's self-deprecating. It's all the things. What brought you to this point to be so, you know, reflective?
Well, I'm a Gemini, and I've always been kind of reflective, and I think too much, and I wish I could stop thinking, but then I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
You know, I think music has this power to be you know, it connects us, but it strengthens us, and it allows you to, if you hear a story that you identify with, it lets you know that you're not alone. You know, listening to an artist you admire talk about something that you feel like, oh man, I'm going through that too. I'm not the only one. You know, like they're going through it too. And I just think it's important to be honest. Just write and speak from the heart. You know, call yourself out if that's what it takes. Or, you know, just be straight. Be real.
Yeah.
Be real. And like that chorus was an idea I had for like a year and a half, and I kept coming back to it, and everyone would be like, I don't know. Why do you want to talk about that stuff?
Really?
Like, or, you know what I mean? It just sounds a little uncomfortable, man. And I was like, well, if you can take something like that and then find a way to kind of like, to like make it like anthemic and a chant and something you can sing and dance and cry to, you know what I mean? Then you're like taking the power from it. You know what I mean? And there's a happy, sad element to that, but it's like you're conquering it instead of letting it like defeat you.
See, that's so funny to hear that because I love that song the most because, I mean, yes, sonically, but I just love the way you're talking about it. It's so candid and it's so real, and it shows that you're reflecting, calling yourself out. And a lot of times when you do that, you're like, okay, I'm going to make these changes, or I'm going to do this differently now. Is there anything specific that you've sort of set out to alter or change?
No, you just gotta like, I mean, I've always wanted to disrupt, and you know, you mentioned juxtaposition and also just like cultural polarity, you know, in terms of like that's something, you know, growing up when I was getting into music, why Kanye meant so much to me was that he was able to bridge gaps between cultures and genres, and his, you know, like, just because something comes from this walk of life or this world or this culture doesn't mean that there's not a relatability and a bridge that can connect it into this culture.
Of course.
Like hip hop, you know what I mean? There's themes that stretch beyond category and culture and genre.
Because we're
color.
humans.
Yeah, we're all humans, you know, and finding ways to connect the dots and bring worlds together has always been just a fascinating, like, artistic approach to me, because it to do it artistically also suggests that culturally we can come together and as people. You know what I mean? If we can see the connection between this style of music and this style of music because these two songs are saying essentially the same thing, then why can't people of different walks of life also come together?
Absolutely. You also said something really cool about, like, going back to reflection about, like, selfishness versus selflessness, and that there's a spectrum, and there's, like, a healthy version of both and an unhealthy version of both. And I thought that was a really cool and healthy way to talk about it, you know, because we're all kind of both of those things at some point, and it's just kind of, it's back to, like, checking yourself. It's like checking in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can be selfless to a fault.
Oh my God.
And selfless in a positive way.
Yeah, you can be selfish to a fault. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the obvious one.
Right.
But you can totally be selfless to a fault. And there's a healthy selfishness that comes with taking care of yourself.
Right. Self-care.
And self-care, yeah. I mean, if you're not taking care of yourself and being the best you, then, you know, it's like, you know.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, like, just checking in with yourself.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like, you're a person in this, like, circle of universe too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, obviously you can't go killing somebody, but you also can't kill yourself.
Right.
Like, you're a person too. And for that reason, it's like, you know, so it's just as important as, like, you know, respect others and also respect yourself.
Yeah. And of course, one of the lyrics, "A mama's boy without a mom," is wow. And you know, you've been very vocal about the grief that you've been experiencing with your mom's loss and how close, you know, you were. And then of course, "Love You Forever."
Yeah.
That's the song for me.
Yeah.
That's the song. I like force myself to listen to it because it's so special. Tell me about the mindset you had to get into to do that song, because I'm sure that was probably the most difficult moment.
Yeah, hands down. I was just rehearsing that song for a tour.
So you are gonna play. You are gonna do
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna play it sparingly. And I also the other day, and not to bring the mood, or you know, but just to acknowledge, and so I had like a godmom, like it's basically like a second mom. I mean, she'd been, you know, in my life since I was 5. She was one of my best friends' mom, and her and my mom became best friends. And there was 3 of us, and our 3 moms, you know, were like a unit.
Oh,
and
so special.
And she was with my mom when she passed, and she was one of my favorite people on this planet. She was an angel. She was a protector. She was a warrior, and she was there for me through my whole life. And she passed the other day.
Aww.
So I wanted like, I'm excited to perform that in honor of both of them.
Yeah.
You know. And I just think moms are the superheroes of the universe.
Oh.
They're, you know, the strength required to create life and to protect, you know, and raise a child, and the sacrifices, and, you know, and my mom was nothing short of a superhero. So, you know, that song was based on a book that she used to read me when I was a little kid, The Love You Forever.
I know that book. I have that book.
Yeah. And I hadn't thought, I knew I had to write a song for my mom on this record. I just didn't know, like, I'd tried a few different, like, approaches to it. And then I thought of that book out of the blue. I think I woke up out of, like, a nap, a dream or something.
Yeah.
And I remember that book. I haven't thought of that book in 30 years.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always love the structure of the book because it skips through time, you know, by the pages. And I thought that a great, beautiful, and I always remember as a little kid, I loved the one where he's chewing the gum with the headphones, with the, like,
he's like the punk.
He's like the punk. I'm like, I can't wait to be that one.
He's like the cool kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so special. I know that book, and I actually read that book to my 2 little boys. And, you know, when I hear that song, I'm
How old
like,
are they?
They are 2 and 4.
Oh, man.
They're bad.
Yep.
They're already bad.
They're terrible twos.
They're
And
terrible.
yeah.
And, you know, I listened to that song and I'm like, I hope that my boys love me the way that you loved your mom.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And like, what was it, or what advice can you give me? What was it that was so exceptional about your mom?
Warmth. You know, you can't always be warm. You know, love is and raising boys is, you know, don't I know it? But tenderness, softness, and love. You know, yeah, and but also, you know, like strength to a ferocious like level of,
Mama
you know what
bear.
I mean? Mama bear.
Yes.
Man, my mom was a mama bear.
Yes.
Yeah, she would.
Oh.
What she would? Man, if somebody. Yeah.
I know that. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like that with my little too. But that's so special. I just want you to know that song
Yeah.
is a song that transcends the album.
Yeah.
It transcends genre. It transcends. That song is just,
yeah, that's like something like that. I don't know what genre that is. I mean, I guess there's a rap verse at the end, but it's like, it's not a rap song. It's not a pop.
It's a love song.
It's a love song.
It's a love song.
It's just a good song, man.
Yeah, it's so. And I just congratulations, because it's very special. And whoever gets to hear that.
Tell them you have eyes in the back of your head.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I was always scared to, like, you know, because mama had long hair like that, and she would braid it every day, every morning, and I remember she would always tell me and my little brother James that she had not to get in any, you know, trouble or anything, because she had eyes in the back of her head, and I swore that there must be eyes behind her braid back here.
I definitely say that kind of stuff, 100%, because they are so naughty.
Yeah.
Another highlight of the album for me is One Day.
Okay.
Featuring Leon Bridges.
Yeah.
Like, that song, for me, that's another song that
Can I just say how much I love that you love music?
Oh.
Don't you find it crazy that there's some people out there that don't listen to music, or don't love music? Like, we love music.
Love it.
Yeah. But anyway,
it becomes part of me. You know, I listen to music I thought that everyone liked music the way I like it, and then as I got older, I realized that no.
But you're special.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say that.
I have a musician's heart. I love music. That song, well, Leon Bridges is incredible.
Yeah.
So that was such a cool collaboration. But that song is of hope. That song, it's a love song. It is.
Yeah, right. It's the great American love story. It's like it's the story of ambition. It's the story of being broken love. But, you know, if we have us, we have enough. But it's living with less, and you know, that it's kind of in a way. So like, when my parents separated, like, my mom took us and we moved into my grandparents' home, and you know, it's me, my mom, and little brother, like, sharing a room basically, like, and it was like that humble beginnings and humble, like, having less, but being full of love.
Yes.
You know, helps fuel the dream and ambition to believe we have enough if we're, you know.
We'll have that foundation.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, and looking back, you know, my favorite, like, birthdays or Christmases were, like, it was just us, and it was, like, the smallest little, I mean, just, like, a rinky-dink homemade cake that was, like, you know, and a couple presents that she could afford, but it was that gave me the, like, kind of, like, I don't know, like ability to dream that, like, one day I'm gonna, you know, take care of us.
I think when you are raised with love like that, it gives you this innate confidence that you can do more, and that because you deserve more. You know, so I think that's what it is, and to be born with that, that's the ultimate gift, is to be in a house that loves you, a home.
Oh,
like a home.
yeah.
You know, that's amazing. Now, I know we're focused on the tour, but you have been working on new music.
Yeah.
Okay. What can we share? Let's talk about the new music. You're excited about it.
I'm so excited. You saw I just lit up.
Yeah.
I got back in the studio right after Freakshow came out, and I just I felt like I had more to say. I'd spent all this time doing Freakshow, you know, but sometimes getting a record out can be, you know, grueling. It's like some of that music I'd been sitting on for way too long, and and the process of getting everything papered and cleared and, you know, strategically promoted and marketed and then planned to release, and the windows of, you know, and anyway, by then I was just like, I wanted to get back in the studio immediately. I worked with this producer, Rodaidh McDonald, and he did Adele's first album. He did the XX. You know what I mean? And, like, it's a hero in my eyes, you know, like, literally. And I did the whole record with him, and I hadn't realized I'd never really worked, you know, at length with a producer with credits like that, who's an old school guy who like comes in. We did it all in one studio.
And has worked on so many
different genres and types of music. And I
yes.
mean, he's like as well versed in picking out which guitar amp and which guitar to use for a part as he is about telling me, like, gee, like I think this bar right here, you know, in the second verse could be tighter, or like re-perform this chorus with a different tone, or like these drums like need to hit harder. You know, he gets hip hop as he gets rock, as he gets like, you know,
music,
like everything, just music.
Yes.
And I always felt like I believed people like that existed, and it was really refreshing to get to meet him and work with him and become friends through the whole thing, because, you know, I happen to rap, and hip hop was absolutely, you know, that's the culture that I grew up in and love, and that's the music I love, you know. But I also love a lot of different types of music and am inspired by, and getting to kind of like, you know, try different things, all while still being a rap album and staying true to hip hop, but incorporating and you know, infusing different things. But yeah, it was really inspiring. It was really electric. It was, you know, we did it all pretty much within probably like 7 weeks in the studio.
Wow.
And he was like, you know, gee, this is how records like used to happen. You know, you wouldn't necessarily spend a year and work with a million different people. You just go in and you just figure what it is out that you want to do, and you do it.
Yeah. It's very special when you connect with someone like that from a chemistry perspective, because that's when a different kind of art comes through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if the fact that you guys did a whole album together, wow.
Yeah. And
is this the first time that you've done that?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I've done it with like, you know, essentially, you know, like with friends and producers, you know, and but somebody, I mean, and this is not no slight at all, but you know, somebody who's been established for this long, and you know, it's like, but yeah, basically, the record is like, I think, really amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's about the highs and lows of love. Okay. It's called Helium.
Oh my God.
And it's like it's conceptually cohesive without trying to, you know, be so like thematically driven. It's just still a great record, but it's like how love can lift you up. Like, you know, you think helium, you think bright balloons, you think birthday, you think celebration, you think, you know, but if you let go, if it flies too high, you know what I mean, it'll pop. But if you hang on to it, you know, too long, eventually sometimes it could shrivel up and it's not as, you know, it could sink down. And it's like the ups and downs, the highs and lows of that, and how intoxicating and exciting it can be, but also, you know, there's
wow.
Yeah.
Has any of new relationships inspired any of this? Are you seeing anyone right now?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, perfect. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm so excited about this. You seem to be in such an amazing place right now.
Thank you.
You really do. Like, you seem like you've been through a lot. You've done a lot of work on yourself. You've been through therapy. You know, you using music as catharsis and being honest. Like, I feel like just being so honest in your music like that and going through so much personally.
Well, honesty can be terrifying.
Yeah.
And that sounds like, you know, some BS answer, but it's like, no, like, you know, there's some truths that are hard to tell, and, you know, there's been times in my life where telling the truth has not rewarded me. Like, it's gotten me, like, but also it's a necessary, it's a you have to.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, sometimes the truth hurts, but you know, whether it bites you or not, you know, you have to learn how to open up, how to share, how to communicate.
Yeah. I think you can't fault someone for actually being honest, because it's that prerogative. It's really what people do around it.
You'd be surprised. She'd be surprised. No.
At the end of the day, it's real information that.
Yeah, it's real information, and you know, and at the end of the day, you know, when the truth hurts, it hurts. You know, and people are allowed to hurt, and you know, when you do things, you know, that have hurt people, you know, you have to live with that too. And but time can be a very strong healing agent. And I've done a ton of reflecting, and I don't know how this is gonna all land, within the music, but it's really honest on every side, and it is cathartic, but it's important.
It's the new era of Gerald.
Yeah.
Let's do deep cuts, okay? Name a song, album, or artist that changed your life.
Free Will and Bob Dylan. Yeah.
Wow. Was it just how vulnerable and stripped down and the songwriting, lyrics?
and brutally, just like, it's like there's, when you work with less, and it's just like, the vocal is so much more present, and having to do the heavy lifting, so if it's just him and picking his guitar and his harmonica, you know what I mean? It's like, well, there's only like three cast members here. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? There's no place to hide behind a ton of production or anything like that. And there was just this, and I mean, I think song-wise, Don't Think Twice Is All Right is just like, that's one of the most like, just, it's like one of the greatest heartbreak breakup songs, love songs that, to have ever been written and performed. And its tones are, range from, hurt to slightly, not bitter, but like, there's some there.
Oh yeah.
But there's also a letting go there, That's
awesome. He's a poet.
Yeah,
He's a wordsmith. Our son Dylan is named after him.
Oh, that's amazing.
I share your love and respect. Yeah. What is something fans might be surprised to learn about you?
I'm terrified of pigeons. Most people know that. Yeah, but.
And you live in New York City.
Yeah,
so how have you been dealing with this?
Yeah, and there's this one like stoplight post in the East Village where like. God, I think it's on like 2nd and like 7th or something, or 8th or somewhere around there. It's like by St. Mark's, but like, all the pigeons are always like, I don't know why they picked that to be the kick it spot, but they fit like 80 pigeons on the red light post. Yeah, it's literally the kick it spot. Yeah, and I'm always thinking like, damn, what if like Robbie the pigeon comes to kick it with his homie Steven, and his seat is taken because there's not a space at all, you know what I mean? And for Robbie the pigeon, it's like, damn, Steven, I was finna come kick it with you at 1 p.m., man. Who's this other pigeon taking my spot?
Wait, are you scared of them because you think they're dirty, or it's just like a bird thing?
I mean, all right, so like the rats don't even scare me.
Okay.
You see them scurry, it's like because they can only move like 2D.
Yeah.
I mean, pigeons 3D, but they can go diagonal this way, up, down. They fly, they almost hit you. Like,
unpredictable.
Yeah, unpredictable.
And dangerous.
That's scary. Yeah, they're dirty. They're rats with wings. And so if a rat could suddenly just scurry across out of the
subway track.
Yeah, or like across the street in front of the dive or something like that. But they don't, I don't know, man. Like, and then just suddenly anamorph into wings and fly up and hit your face. I mean, a rat, I'm 6'5", so it can't get from there to here.
Yeah, I see.
A pigeon could touch me.
Yeah. You should not watch Hitchcock for Halloween. Yeah. The bird. You should stay away from that. If you could meet any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be?
John Lennon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All songwriters. These are all lyricist poets.
Or Pac, obviously, but Pac, I felt like his energy would just be so big, I'd be like exhausted. Like, I don't know.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, he's a lot. Like Lennon would be more chill, like, yeah, G. I don't know.
But I feel like you can learn a lot from him. I would just want to like have a coffee with him. What is the greatest risk you've ever taken?
Myself. Not having a plan B. Being all in, and it's the greatest risk because it's the greatest one because it's become my life, and it worked, Yeah. But I was down to the wire. I had nothing. I was living out of a suitcase, and you got to be all in. And there was, everybody's voice in my ear saying, this isn't a career. You got to figure your life out. You're 22, 23 now. Living out of a suitcase, dude, with nothing to show for. This thing, that you keep chasing, and it's been like 7-8 years now that I've been doing it. Like, had not shown signs of life of like, there's a chance of this working really. And I just doubled down, and went all in, and now I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was it that kept you going?
I
'Cause
mean,
I'm sure you had moments of self-doubt, of course.
I do to this day. You know, I do like most days out of the week. You know, in some form or another, or like, you know, you wake up out of a bad dream and you know, existential crisis mode. That happens to me in the morning all the time. But and then I have a cup of coffee and I was like, oh yeah.
Then you're like, I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Coffee solves
Yeah.
everything. What is a fear or insecurity that you wish you could get over?
Oh. I mean, I'm naturally kind of an introvert and shy, and I've had to learn how to, like, you know, become like an extrovert.
Yeah.
So like that's the first thing that pops into my mind.
Right.
Like a fear I wish I could get over. I don't wish I could get over pigeons. Because imagine that I'm just not scared of them, and then they could just be close to me. No, that sounds horrible. I don't want
Do you
that.
think they're gonna try to land on you like Snow White?
I don't know, maybe.
They're not gonna
like,
bother you.
because people are always like, you know, why don't you just go see a hypnotist? You can get this like removed. Like people who like smoke cigs and they go see a hypnotist and they're no longer like. That sounds like, you know, but I'd be like, well, I mean, I don't, but I'd be like, but I like smoking cigs. It looks cool, and why do I want to get rid of this? You know what I mean? Or like pigeons.
You've
to
embraced that fear.
Pigeons. But I mean, I'm just like, imagine I'm not afraid, and y'all are just fine with one just touching you or something. No, I don't want to be that guy.
I don't know if anyone's ever been touched by a pigeon.
Or the worst is, all right, you're eating outside, right? At say like a cafe.
Yeah.
In Paris or Italy is the worst for this. It's like you're outside, you're eating, and a pigeon is right by your foot. No, that I just got terrified.
They want the food.
They want the food, but then because they do that erratic thing.
Yeah, they do.
You know, yeah, and then I'm like, you know, it's startling.
Wow, I'm committed to being in New York with you and facing this fear with you. Okay, I think I'm going to help.
Hold my hand.
I will actually.
You gotta hold my hand.
I will hold your hands. What is your biggest regret?
I mean, I don't know, just there's times in my life I've been just very, just selfish, not wise, inconsiderate, and not mature with regards to, you know, decisions in my actions and ways that, you know, they have damaged and hurt other people, and regret many poor decisions I've made that were, you know, selfish and immature. And it's one thing if you do that to yourself. It's another when you know that it affects other people.
Yeah. When you kind of make this acknowledgement, do you reach out to people in the past? You let it go. You move forward. You look ahead.
It's case by case.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you define success?
Well, loving what you do is success, because, you know, finding something you love, you know, and doing it, you know, if you have time to do it at all, then that's success because you love something.
Right.
And love is success. Like love, when you are, you know, and love's complicated. It has its ups and downs, and it doesn't always love you back. You know, people, you know, love is hard to you know, it takes maintenance, it takes work.
Yeah.
And whether that's being in love with a person, in love with a craft or a hobby, or, you know, something of that nature. But to love it, you know, is success, because that's one of the greatest joys in life.
Yes.
Is to be in love with anything. And then, you know, to get to do it for a living, or to get to do it all the time, in case, in the sense of if it's a person, or to get to be around that person all the time, you know, and that love to be a constant in your life, then that's mega successful.
Love is success.
Yeah,
I love that. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel grateful to be here with you, because I feel like you really have entered into this next sort of iteration of yourself, and it's beautiful. Like, honestly, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So good. Like, lovely. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
I feel like Gerald and I just became fast friends. Of course, that New York connection is always going to solidify a new dynamic, but I adore him. I think he's awesome, and I can't wait to hear this new music. Thank you so much for being part of the Allison Hagendorf Show presented by Cloudwater. A huge thank you to Danny Wimmer Presents. Thank you Arctic Zone for our guest gift bags. Thank you Tribute Project for my one-of-a-kind Beastie Boys blazer. And most importantly, thank you. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would be honored if you subscribe to the channel. I would love to hear from you. So please like, comment, rate, review, whatever you're feeling, and reach out to me on socials at Allison Hagendorf. Let's connect. Let me know who I should interview next and what made you smile today. Until next time, let's be kind to ourselves and each other, and I'll see you soon.